Hello, my name is Dylan St. Pierre, also known as Bob Ross, and here's my political communication research project video essay. I studied types of political communication over the course of the semester. Using our guest speakers, I studied their verbal and nonverbal communication, verbal being how they use their words, how they spoke, their tone of voice, and so on. And their nonverbal communication is their hand gestures, their body language, etc. Here we have the master of nonverbal hand gestures. And here's an example of some written communication from the course. It was provided to us by one of our guest speakers. My research question was, are political policy and political communication one and the same? I believe that regardless of what the policy is, it is bought by the people based on how the politicians communicate it. Therefore, the policy is the communication behind it. For example, in The Wolf of Wall Street, when he gets people to sell him that pen, he's not really getting them to sell him a pen. He's just creating that supply and demand dynamic wherein he has something that they need at that moment. So politicians are able to frame any policy as something people need and people will buy it. The field site was Morset Hall, room 205, and it was a lecture hall which was very conducive to the note-taking for this project. My main method of data collection was field notes. I chose to do handwritten notes as I feel like they really involved me in the research more, especially in this ethnographic project, and I found I thought more as I took my notes because it was less automatic than typing. My main method of analysis was coding. I used 4 main categories, and here they are. As you can see on the left in yellow, I have policy and all the codes that fell in that category, and then in blue, communication. In orange, all the codes involving personal achievement, and in green, all the codes involving their personal qualities. You'll notice all of these codes have an asterisk beside them, which means they were used by 3 or more guest speakers. This is just a sample of some of the coding I did. There will be more detailed examples in my written report. As for my feelings, it varied based on the speaker. I felt annoyed or related. It really changed. But here I have one politician who really agrees with how I felt about the political communication overall.
Look what I did to this city with a few drums of gas and a couple of bullets. You know what I noticed? Nobody panics when things go according to plan. Even if the plan is horrifying. If tomorrow I tell the press that like a gangbanger will get shot, or a truckload of soldiers will be blowing up, nobody panics, because it's all part of the plan. But when I say that one little old mare will die, well, then everyone loses their minds.
So there we have some very wise words from the Joker. As for my main findings, I found that communication and policy overlapped a great deal. There were similar strategies in communication and policy, and a lot of the codes could fall under either category. Here I've illustrated that visually and highlighted a few codes that could have applied to both categories of policy and communication, and there were many more, and again those will be detailed thoroughly in my written report. I feel like this really gave me the image in my head of a wolf in sheep's clothing, because if they communicated any type of policy a certain way, it could be perceived as one thing by the people, even though it might not be, and I feel like there was a really big room for deception in that regard. Another main finding was that they all differentiated between print and digital media, and especially social media, and how that's changing politics and political communication. As for the implications of this study, I found it was externally valid in the sense that it's easily replicable and can be done, especially at the University of Ottawa. As you can see, I provided an image of a lecture hall here, where you can often go and see guest speakers and take notes and analyze them in a similar way. And you could even do it at other political sites, such as Justin Trudeau's 2019 campaign rally. That's my research project. I hope you enjoyed. Merry Christmas.